Hello guys, Sat Sri Akal, Namaskar and Salam. So today we will be connecting to one of our own, Harpreet, who will be talking about the women empowerment, balance between life and work for women, as well as how you should plan your career in countries like United States. Okay, so let's see what she has to share and watch this video till end because she will be sharing with us her hobbies, the paintings, the experiences, the challenges, everything, and it's really informative. And also I request everyone to subscribe and like this channel and share this video. So we have come a long way, right, from tech videos to tutorials. So today I am going to make a video with a very special guest. So we will be talking about things like how women can balance their family and career life, and how as a minority or as a woman, right, what type of situations you go through and how you come out of those situations. Okay, so let's get started. When I am starting this video, I mentioned that we were having a special guest with us, right, who is actually a tech leader, and she is also an abstract artist, right? And she is not only the artist, she is also the mom of two, right? So that's right. Even with so much on her plate, she still has time to amaze world with his diverse capabilities. Okay, so with very warm welcome, let me invite Harpreet to share her knowledge, experiences, and perspective about women and career. Okay, hello Harpreet, it's an honor to be talking to you. So let's start with a brief introduction about you. Tell us about you, how you end up with tech. Is it by choice or is it by chance for you?
So let me thank you first of all, Amritpal. This is a great honor to be on the show and with you and all the subscribers you have, right? So yeah, I'm happy to share my journey with you all. And you gave me a really good introduction. I generally start with I am a mom of two. Yeah. Right, a tech leader, a speaker, a keynote speaker as well, and a coach, and then an abstract artist. So I'm a side hustler. People call me, like we are hustlers. Right. And I joke with my team also, like, not all superheroes wear capes, right? Some wear turbans as well, right? And some wear dresses as well. So, as women, we are anyway superwomen. I God has given us that power anyways. And the second question which you asked me, as it was tech choice of career for me, or was that just it ended up being in tech? So I'll be very honest. I grew up in a very small town in India, in Punjab actually, right? But I wasn't born in there. I was born in Jammu and Kashmir, and as probably my friends or my female friends in India can probably relate to, the situation has changed. But in my times, the girls were supposed to be, as soon as they reach their puberty and 20s, early 20s, get them married. Yeah. Right. And that was the same focus for my family as well. Right. The only good thing was my parents always wanted, my dad raised the two girls. I have a younger sister, literally like boys. Right. Even though the family were always saying, no, get them married. Right. My dad wanted to push us and be in the education department or, whatever. Right. Yeah. So I actually always wanted to be a doctor. Oh. But I actually, frankly, flunked that exam. That's another story for another day. And I cried for 2 whole days. Literally, and and my dad was like, okay, this girl is just gonna, she's going crazy, let me put her in some extracurricular stuff. And he just enrolled me in some computer classes, and he's like, go, right, at least you'll drive. And that just literally got me interested. And so then I did my bachelor's in computers, and then I did my master's in computers. And to everybody's shock, I ended up, instead of becoming a doctor, I became a computer engineer. So it was kind of like, that was not my first path, but then it became my path and my passion. Oh. And my relatives, they were like, what is this girl doing in computers? Like, I was the first gen in the engineering field as well within my extended family as well. And still, right? I think I'm the only one in computers. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was quite a journey, Harpreet. So now you are working with Microsoft, right? So where do you see it down the line, 5 to 10 years from here, and how you are planning to reach there?
I frankly, people. So I have a big team. I'll tell you that I don't put myself in titles anymore.
Okay.
Right, like I don't look for that I'm going to be I'm a senior manager or a product leader now. I'll be a VP or a senior. No, I don't put that. I feel like if you keep doing your best, those titles will keep coming. But for me, the next few years or even all the years of our life, right, whatever, every day is special. And I'll tell you why every day is special for me in upcoming, probably, I had my eye opening last year, that I take every day as a new day now. And for me, is how do I give back? Right?
Yeah.
How am I bringing everybody together, be it minority, be it women in STEM, be it girls in STEM, be it, different kind of people, all my, LGBTQ or blacks or browns at work, right? All of us, how do I give back with my experiences? I think I've taken that to my heart now. We all, by blessings of everything around us, I'm blessed to have a good job,
Yeah.
good home. But and if we keep doing good, things will come. I foresee that I'm going to keep increasing in my career, and keep taking strides. But it's what I give back,
Sure.
right? So every day I think about, if Harpreet is not here today, what's my legacy?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a very deep topic, right? Like,
Yeah. Exactly.
for everybody, it's different. But for me, it's what do I give back? How do I bring my team along? How do I actually empower more people? Because frankly, Amrit, between you and you have a job, I have a job. We
Yeah.
only have our own influences, right, within
Yeah.
that job.
Yeah.
But like, for example, like what we are doing right now, how do we influence more people
Yeah.
beyond?
Exactly.
So that's actually is what I foresee myself doing more and more of,
Yeah.
versus what exactly I'm doing or able to empower within my own team.
Sure.
Does that help? Yeah.
Yes, exactly, exactly. That's a great one. One need to focus really in their life, right? Because ship without destination will get lost in the turbulent sea, right? And even
Exactly.
and even like Harpreet, when I was talking about getting you on this show, right? So there was one of my subscriber who actually written to us, right? That so she is also a women in work, right? She is saying they are facing a lot of challenges in their workplace for decades, right? And I'm sure that you would have also been in same boat at some point of time, right? So tell us, how did you get yourself out of such situations?
So I'll be honest. One of the thing, Amrit asked me, "Hey, I sent you something. Did you read about it?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just going to tell my heart to all of you,
Yeah,
right?"
yeah, exactly.
And so I will tell you that if somebody tells on your face, be it a woman or be it diversity candidate as a gender, right, that you have never faced something, that is a lie. We all have faced,
Yeah,
right? We realize it or not, that is a different thing. Somebody takes it more to heart, somebody takes it not too much to heart, right?
yeah,
And so frankly, I have, right? And I'll tell you, there's a story behind why I wear a turban as well. I'm a Sikh and I wear a turban. That is, I don't want to juggle into that one.
yeah,
But I wasn't doing that all my life, right? I just started standing out with all the path I have been on
yeah,
just 10 years or so back. But I was trying to blend in, right?
yeah,
As all the girls, we always try. I think the society has put so much of onus on, you have to look really pretty. And so I was the same. I was trying all kind of hairstyles. I was, I had step cut. I was, all the things you could think of.
yeah,
I was doing the same, right? Still, nobody can change your skin color.
yeah,
Nobody, right? Nobody can change you your culture. Nobody can change your unique personality.
Yeah.
So even though you're trying to blend in, guess what? You will never be able to, because the things which you bring, right, from your society, from your generations,
Yeah.
those things doesn't change. I can tell I'm an American. My kids can say they're American, but they have the genes from their great grandfathers, which we are not able to change, which we won't be able to change. So there were times when I was called, a brown girl. There were times when I'm like, what's on her head? There was times when I have been in rooms where I'm the only woman.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, your difference, if you realize that your differences gives you strength,
Yeah.
if that is something which the realization has come to me after long, right? I'll be really honest to say that it's not that I was born with it. It took me a lot of effort to be okay in my own skin,
Yeah.
right? And be fine with what I am.
Yeah.
And so if people say me right now or give me looks, I actually smile.
Yeah.
I actually smile. And if they ask me, or if I overhear somebody that what's on her head, or what kind of family is that, right? Like 4 of us, me, my husband, my kids also wear the stars or turban, what you call, right? And my daughter as well. And sometimes we are all color coordinated. Sometimes we are not. Like I'll be wearing black, my husband blue, my daughter pink, my son did some other color, and they're like, that's a different looking family, right? Especially in US.
Exactly.
But I take that as an opportunity to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Right. So it depends on time to time. Sometimes you can, sometimes if it's a heated conversation, leave it, right? So you pick your battles. But at work, I'm very open about my faith. I'm very open with my, team, that what I bring to the table. So then, once they see what you bring to the table, they start looking beyond what you look like. I think it's more in us versus them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely, surely life is not a bed of roses, right? We need to work hard irrespective of our caste, creed, color, or sex, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so my next question is almost related to the same thing, right? So when we are saying we need to balance between our personal and professional act, right? In these times, like unprecedented times of COVID-19, right? So there are many women who are actually the driver of their homes as well, right? So are homemaker. So what are your suggestion, like when you are into peak of your career and you also need to manage your home? So how women should balance their act here?
And again, very candidly, I will say every person, every home is unique.
Yeah.
Right? But look for where you can get help. Right? One of the thing, in my home, I'll be very honest. In my home, my husband works, in tech world as well. He's also a technical leader. Right. And so we both are in information technology, and we both have really, big teams and, kind of big portfolios as well. And then we have 2 kids, right? So making sure that you are co-parenting and you're balancing out your work, right? And you have set those, I would say, boundaries. In my case, I'm a wrong person to give this answer, because I'll tell you, my husband says you're a workaholic. Like today, lunch was his. He made pasta, right? So I think we have to put our limits as well. That hey, it's okay that we won't be having lavish dinners and lavish lunches, right? But we actually have a balance. Right? Over weekends we will do that, but over the weekdays, like mom, dad are all working. My kids, they make their own snack. So I think it depends upon every home, but I would say look for help. Like look for help in your other half, right? If bring your wives and bring your husbands along, right? And tell them that you need help, right? Or bring your kids along. If you have really young kids, you know what? I would rather get help to clean somebody. Like, for example, for me, I have cleaners, right, who come in and help clean during this COVID time, right? They, but the reason I will tell you is, Amrit, I'm like, I would rather spend those 4 hours with my kids, quality time with my kids, versus cleaning up. Not that I don't like cleaning up. I actually love cleaning. But it's how do you spend quality time?
Yeah.
So you have to be, you have to divide and conquer. Let's just say it. And
Yeah.
if you're able to help, get your help from, from your in-laws, from your parents, from your friends, just, ask for help. One thing I think as women, especially coming from India, we don't ask for help.
Mhm.
We can, right? Like, raise your hand that, hey, I really need help.
Yeah, yeah, you're so
Yeah.
right. You're so right. Right. And I would like to add, right, we are always tested in life and in one way or another, but it solely depends on us not to stop trying until we reach our goals and destinations. And you really need a coordinated effort in that, right?
Exactly. Yep.
And so tell us about top three acts, right, which you think you may have avoided or can be performed better, which may have resulted in an hindrance down to your career goals or your ambitions, which you really need the younger generation, specifically we are talking about women's here, right? So they should avoid doing it so that they should have a seamless career, right?
So I'll tell you, especially for my female listeners here, growing up, I always felt I'm not enough.
Yeah.
I always felt, and especially that comes with the culture
Yeah.
also, right? Where women are always used to be looked at, right? We all have to, that is where we all have to do our fair part of saying no,
Yeah.
right? So tell yourself, let me say it out loud. Tell yourself you're enough.
Yeah.
You are enough, right? Irrespective of your color, creed, whatever it is, you're enough. You're beautiful. You're unique,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And the reason I'll tell you is when you don't believe you are that,
Yeah.
you hinder yourself. You're like, oh my God, that opportunity, too tough for me.
Yeah.
Oh, that opportunity out there, no, I shouldn't ask for it, right? As soon as I realized
Mm-hmm.
that I am enough, I'm beautiful, I'm unique,
Yeah.
it has to come from you, right?
Sure.
People will still probably say, whoever is probably some critics here, like, is she beautiful? I don't care what people say,
Yeah.
right? It has to come from you. I'm a beautiful Singani of Guru Sahib,
Yeah.
right? And if people don't know what to think, please go and look.
Yeah.
Big
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm the daughter,
Yeah.
right? I am best in what I do. If
Yeah.
you have that confidence, which I did, and which I felt like kept hindering me,
Yeah.
and now as soon as in the last 10 years, as I have realized it,
Yeah.
I know I'm unstoppable. I'm
Yeah.
unstoppable,
Yeah.
right? So that's one thing which I would say I would give an advice to my younger generation. Don't hinder yourself.
Yeah.
Look for, people say have big dreams. You can have big dreams as big as you can, right? Just keep looking forward to it. The
Yeah.
second thing I will say is, initially, and that is a muscle you have to build.
Yeah.
Initially, as I was growing up, I was very competitive, right? As I said, I was always trying to blend in, but that also, there's a story. I'm happy to share the podcast. Actually, my commencement speech, which actually tells about my story as well,
Okay.
how why blend in when you stand out. Was one of my talk,
Yeah.
right? And so I would say stand out in whatever you do. You
Yeah.
have to get the best in that. If people is so, like, for example, big companies,
Mhm.
there are hundreds and thousands of computer engineers.
Yeah.
What makes you stand out?
Mhm.
Find that in you,
Yeah.
right? Find that in you. Once you have found that, right, then there's no stopping. So first of all, stop underestimating you.
Mhm.
Stop feeling like you have to blend in and make sure that that person is doing this, I need to do that. Stop doing that,
Yeah.
right? And then the third is resilience muscle. Anytime you are hit with the failure,
Yeah.
which if somebody says you they've always been successful, we
Yeah.
have not seen their path,
Yeah.
right? All these people, right, like Jeff Bezos, Satya, talk about all these CEOs, right?
Yeah.
We have seen them being successful, but we
Mhm.
haven't seen their struggles,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Because they are now in news, we see them and we are like, oh my God, look at the amount of money they have. But not many people know what they have gone through.
Yeah.
Satya still goes through. Satya has 2 special kids.
Yeah.
Right. So think about, as a parent, he's going through a lot every day. Right. We see people's successes. So I would say, whenever you're hit with a failure, or whenever you're hit with a downfall, look at it like, please cry over it, grieve over it, but then come out much more stronger, right? That's one thing I will tell you. People say, oh, now she's at Microsoft. Nobody knows that 20 or more companies rejected me, and I'm here.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody knows how many visa struggles I had gone, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody knew the struggles I went through when I had my hair out and now I have my beautiful turban. Nobody knew that, right?
Yeah.
What they're going to probably say is, oh, Harpreet, so she's like super confident. Yes.
Yeah.
But it took me a long journey to reach here.
That's to build.
Right? Yeah. So my thing is, first of all, why blend in when you're born to stand out? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Build that resilience muscle, right? Keep trying. It's okay. If they say, don't fear failure, right? Yeah. Fear the absence of progress, right? So fear the absence of progress, I guess. Yeah. So, keep looking at it and keep moving forward, and then be hopeful.
Yeah. So that's what people say, like Rome is not built in a day, right? And I agree. One should always strive to be better, and that's possible only if you start accepting your mistakes and learn from them. Right?
Yep.
They only make you stronger and when determined, right? So my next question is really onto the same topic you touched in this answer, right? So you worked in multiple MNCs, right? So what's the major cultural difference you have observed between all of them, and how, as a woman, you should pick your career in specific MNCs, right? Because they all seems to same from outer, but when you actually work, there are a lot of cultural differences, right?
I would say all the MNCs, right? Like, I think they're a lot focused on diversity and inclusion at this point, right? But at the same time, you have to find your fit. Yeah. Right. So I will not be doing a good, if I have to give you any feedback on the multinationals I have worked with, be it TCS or Sierra Systems or PwC, right? All those, right? Because it's been long, and I know the culture out there has probably been changed as well. Yeah. But obviously, I can give you the feedback on where I am right now. Yeah. So I've been with Microsoft for close to 10 years, and I've seen a lot of culture change. Okay. Right. With Satya coming in, we had Steve Ballmer before, where there was a lot of, there was still a lot of focus. There was a lot of focus on, bringing everybody, but there was so let me back up. There was a lot of focus on still bringing your whole self to work, but it was, how do I outshine this person? Mm-hmm. Right? How do I outshine that group? Yeah. With Satya coming in, he's changed the culture so much, right? It's all about empathy. It's all about culture. It's all about customer empathy. It's all about customer obsession. It's all about how do you bring your whole self, whatever you are, right? So if you look at it, our culture statement, our mission statement has changed. It's like, how do we empower each and every person? Mm-hmm. So there's a thing in brackets which we don't see, obviously, but that's in our head, irrespective of your culture, creed, sex, gender, whatever, right? And or your disability. So empower each and every person in this organization, in this world, to bring their whole self. Mm-hmm. and to empower each and everybody, right? So I think that says a lot. Yeah. So within Microsoft, there are all kind of people, right? Mm-hmm. They're or from all different perspectives as well. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I am empowered. Mm-hmm. I am accepted. Mm-hmm. I don't have to hide. Mm-hmm. Like when I say hide, we cannot hide, first of all. Yeah. Right. But then people do try to hide that I am not what I am at work versus what I'm at home. Sure. Right. But Harpreet is the same. I'll tell you, it took me a long. I'm the same what I'm at home. Yeah. I'm the same at work. Okay. Right. Yeah. And so that has changed a lot in years. And I would say if you are able to bring, so look for where you are able to bring your whole self, and that can be a question.
Yeah.
One of the thing I will tell you is, I think we are doing a segue here, but I think it's important.
Yeah.
People ask me, and I mentor a lot of new to career and mid to career, that what are the questions you should ask
Yeah.
in the end of the interview. One of the questions which you should always ask is, how's the culture? How, what is your, they always have some kind of those surveys, like at Microsoft we have those kind of surveys which tells you what is the culture of the team, right?
Yeah.
It is 86, 100% from 0 to 100%.
Yeah.
If it's above 80, that means it's a good culture, like a healthy culture, right? The team trust each other. You
Yeah.
should always ask that, because if you're asking that, you're also showing that it's not just they interviewing you, but you're also interviewing them.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a game changer, right? Because you have to find a fit both ways.
Yeah, exactly. So Harpreet, you actually represent diversity, right? So you may have been into a situation where people don't know about what we represent, right? What you represent, right? So how you tackle those lack of awareness about your culture which you inherited,
But do you mean by like specific to my faith?
right? Yeah, faith, or maybe rituals, or maybe the way we conduct in society, right? So people may come and ask you what you are doing, right? Yeah, so when they are not aware about it, so how you answer those questions, how you make them comfortable that this is part of your custom.
So I'll tell you, being very open.
Yeah.
Being very open and answer with a smile.
Yeah.
That is my short answer. I'll tell, and then if people ask me more about it, I tell this is my crown,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing I go into is that Harpreet Kaur,
Yeah.
right? And so I say it's also named as her pretty car. You can remember like that, her pretty car,
Yeah.
Harpreet Kaur.
Yeah.
And then I say Harpreet means always preet of everybody, or always smiling. And then Kaur means princess. And then I say, Kaur means princess, and that's why I have a crown.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm always with the crown. So that is my way of getting into, if they need to know more about my faith. This is my first few lines, right?
Yeah.
And if they say, tell us more about it, right? And then I go into the my 5 things, and then I go into the more rituals and all, right? And then I also tell even before that, I tell about course versus things.
Yeah.
And then how one of the reason for me to be like this is to also represent that in my faith, men and women are equal.
Yeah.
Right? If men and women are equal, if men are looking, men are standing out, why are women are not standing out? Which is what was the case long back,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm representing my faith proudly.
Yeah.
And sometimes they ask me about my kara, sometimes they ask me about other things as well, and smile, and that kills it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, 99.9% that works.
Yeah, exactly. So true, and I agree with it. So you are not only tech leader, right? You are a mother of 2, right? So there was one of our subscriber who has actually asked that she is also a working mom, right? So when her kids are actually small, what type of 2 things you want them to inculcate so that they should have a, a bright future, and they should actually be moving towards where you want them to go. So because as a technical women, right, you also have a very limited time which you are devoting to your children. So how you what type of 2 things you want to inculcate with them?
I would say that again comes with boundaries, right? Like when I am with them, when me and my husband are with them, we spend quality time. He spends more time, I'll be very honest, but we have our own rituals, right? Coming back to your previous questions as well, we do our morning prayers together, we do our evening things together. And so both my kids, they are very well versed in our language, which is Punjabi, right? We speak Punjabi at home. They do kirtan. Both my kids, even my daughter, are learning tabla, right? And both my kids can do kirtan, and which to my other friends of other faith, that's the way we do our prayers. So we use a classical instrument called harmonium and a classical instrument called tabla, which is drums. And so both my kids. So I have not used that. Only my boy can learn tabla. My daughter used, because he was older and she grew seeing him. She's like, I want to learn, and I'm like, why not? Yeah. Right? And so those are those are few rituals we have. And then weekends, when we go to the family, we don't miss that. We don't miss our evening prayers at all. Sometimes mornings are just my husband and my kids, because if I'm working too late, because I have team all over. Yeah. Right, it gets difficult. I need to have my 8 hours of sleep, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Right? And so that's that. And then, making sure they are having their connection with their grandparents. That was something which was key for me, right? So that's another one. Then coming to the American side of it, right? My kids have American friends. My kids have friends from all the culture, and I actually push them to make sure that they respect that. Yeah. Right? So they do respect, people from all over the faith, right? Yeah. So they have friends from all over the faith. And then also, like my son, if he's doing coding, my daughter is doing coding as well.
Okay.
Right? So I think I'm trying to make sure, there are times when, a few times when my daughter has said, Mom, girls can't do this. And I'm like, excuse me, you never say that.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So making sure that I'm also setting up the expectation that boys and girls are same.
Yeah, exactly. So when we were actually planning this video, right, Harpreet, so you were talking about your hobbies, right? And that is one hobby is being an abstract artist, right? So can you let us know how you from where you have went from novice to maybe like something which start loving this hobby, and how you groom yourself into it? Because there's not always an IT thing, right? People also need to do other curriculums in their livings, right? So what about your curriculum?
So again, as I said, I'm a hustler, right? Yeah. For me to do one thing in life is it's just not challenging enough. Yeah. And I'll tell you, my son is the one who keeps challenging me. He is the one who will say, Mom, you're too good on this, right? Like I guess I can tell you, all the teenagers these days, they're so hooked on to social, right? And they're like, okay, Mom, I need to get you on Instagram. And now there was Snapchat, there's Twitter. I'm like, oh my God, I can't focus. Give me one thing, right? Yeah. So coming back to the abstract art thing, I was always an artist. Growing up, I used to always keep scribbling. My mom and my dad always said that as soon as you were done with your homework, you would keep scribbling, or you would make all those doll houses and doll different dresses and all. So I was always that kind of, had that artistic mindset. But then guess what? Life happened.
Yeah.
Right? You grow up, you get married, you have kids, and then it was a lot of things, right? Then we also moved across continents, and so it was a lot of things. And so mentally, when you're working and when you have to take care of the kids, I had to vent out somehow.
Sure.
Right? And I will tell you, mental health is a topic which is not talked about a lot, but so important. Yeah. Right? So to tell you that, in very open terms, frankly, when I had my first kid, at a very young age, very early 20s, right? And then also having to move continents, and then also having to get a new job, also having to get into all those visa issues, I was just like, this, God help me here, right? So this became over time, this became my venting, right? That I was able to push all my emotions into art.
Sure.
And so I started drawing, canvas arts and all that on the canvas prints and all. And my son, he said, Mom, let's get you an Instagram account. And so I'm on Instagram if you guys want to see my work.
Sure, sure.
HK Abstract Art. So HK Harpreet Kaur, Abstract Art. And I mostly do abstract, which is basically, as you can see, my background. This is called layers. And so whatever comes to my mind, it just flows in. People ask me, do you think what you're going to draw? I said, no. I actually try to meditate and I try to listen to something. But that's my way of actually showing the world my emotions, right? If you go onto that site, you will see one, which is pretty big. It's actually in my home now. It's gray and red. Okay. That day I got rejection.
Okay.
A really big job. And so I felt like my life is nothing, oh my God, this is such a big job I was looking for. It was the exact role. I didn't get it and blah, blah, blah. And so I cried and I wrote, but then I put red on it, which was that I'm going to plow through it. Right. So, and then you will see another one where, so now I've started getting commissions. Like people say, can you paint for me? And they pay me.
Oh, great.
Right. Yeah. So it's win-win.
Yeah. So, Harpreet, last question. You must be thinking finally, right, that it's been a long time here. But the last question is like, the girls who are in their early career stages, right? How should they plan their career? They may be at any part, any location, any situation, right? How they should plan their career if they really want to be competitive?
So again, any field you are in, right? Be the best out of it. I think going back to find what you want to do exactly, and then be a person who when you're in an interview, they look at, oh, even though that girl was not able to answer it right, but she had something in her. Right. So I would say to all the girls out there, first of all, stop looking at that you should know all the 100% of the responsibilities. Like, when you see, and that's not only for the girls, let me just say it, anybody, if you're looking at the job and if you think you are able to do 50%, let me give you an answer. If somebody asks you that, but you don't have the other 50% in that interview, just say them. Then what is for me to learn, right? Like for me, don't say it that way. The way you can say it, I feel like I have the majority of the work which I can do, and I can bring those strengths and then learn on the job. Right? For me, when I hire for Microsoft, I'll tell you, I look for the passion in that person. They should have that 50 to 60%, check the box. And then rest, I want to see their passion. I want to see what they bring to the table. How are they going to push me?
Sure.
Right? So look for that. So I would say all the people out there, keep trying your best. Find what you want to do. What you want to, because each one of you have the talent. If you feel like I am a failure, please don't. I was feeling that. So feel that you've got that talent in you. You've got the superpowers. Find that superpower in you and keep plowing forward. And I'll tell you, if you say, Harpreet, we've got a failure, it's not final.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. Each no is going to take you to a better yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your insights you have given us, and also thank you a lot for this video as well. So hope we will connect again sometime in future with more fresh ideas, and maybe we can collaborate more. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. And again, you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Okay.
Yeah.
So keep surfing, and please connect with me on LinkedIn, and happy to talk more.
Thank you, Harpreet.
Thank you. You have a good day. Bye-bye.